Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. I, 32 male, and my brother Alan, 35 male, were raised by a single mother. Mom was nothing but loving and nurturing. Even when we struggled with money, she made sure we always had nice clothes and toys, even if she did her own shopping at garage sales. She would always spend time with us and support us. She delayed retirement to fund our college. After college, Alan started to only contact Mom for money. Then, after my niece, Zoe, 4 female, was born, it was for babysitting. He'd drop off Zoe, go out with his buddies, then pick up Zoe, never staying for even 5 minutes. Mom expressed feeling used, but Alan would guilt her with, "Do you not love us?" Then Mom got sick, and she couldn't live on her own anymore. I moved in to take care of her. Alan lived less than an hour away, yet he only visited her twice in those 2 years. He would ask for money, then make sure I was there so he could drop off Zoe and hang out with his friends again. Alan didn't show up to the funeral or ash spreading, but did arrive for the probate. I received her house, car, and most of her savings. She had a sizable amount saved up. Alan received $5,000 and a few sentimental items from the house. Alan loudly complained, "That's it?" And we got into an argument. He said I manipulated Mom into getting more money, and she was the parent, so he didn't have to take care of her. I agreed that, no, we didn't have to take care of Mom, and she never expected us to. But he should have helped her. And the fact that he only showed up now for money is disgusting. Fast forward to now. Alan calls me saying that his family would be evicted and they wanted the house. Not to share with me, for me to leave and him to keep Mom's house. Alan works a decent job and has a lease for a damn mini yacht. I told him I'm not bailing him out because he's living beyond his means. Alan said he deserved the money after being kept on a leash by Mom for all those years. Note, Mom wasn't even very strict. She just kept her word. If she said you couldn't go out until you washed the dishes, then you wouldn't be leaving until you washed them. He has the option to live with sister-in-law's parents, but they disapprove of Alan and won't let him live there unless he gets his act together. Paying rent, either working or being at home with Zoe, quit vaping, etc. Alan argued that it's unfair he should have to move in with parents-in-law and be treated like a child. I replied that Zoe behaves better than he is right now. Now relatives say I should let them have the house and that I'm one person and as a family they need the house more. When I brought up Alan's treatment of Mom, they said that I need to put it aside and think of what's best for Zoe and my future niece. And it's what a good brother, uncle would do. Zoe and sister-in-law will be fine at sister-in-law's parents' house though. I think Alan's demands are ridiculous and he doesn't deserve the house, money, after his treatment of our Mom. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Not even a little bit. I commend you on how you took care of your mother. That's really honorable. Tell him to live in his yacht. Not the a-hole. Do not let him move in. It will be a disaster. I hope he doesn't have a copy of a key to your house. If he does, change your locks. I would not put it past him to move himself in. He reeks of entitlement. To the relatives saying you should let your brother move in with you, just tell them that you'll let Alan know that they care so much about his well-being that they offered their place for his family. Not the a-hole. The relatives who are saying you should give the house to your brother are dumb. Your mother left you the house because she wanted you to have it. Your brother is a loser. If he were to get the house, he would do something stupid with it for sure and not even take care of it. Frankly, I'm shocked his wife's family are willing to let him move in with them. His family will be just fine at the in-laws, or maybe one of these relatives who are trying to guilt you into giving him the house. Perhaps they should take him and his family in. I bet they would shut up real quick if you asked them to step up and take care of him. I, 37 male, have a daughter Lizzie, female 9, with Lori, female 38, 50-50 custody. Lori also has 2 sons, male 12, male 14. We decided I would not pay child support, but I would let them move into a house I own rent-free. I own multiple rental properties. Back 9 years ago, the house, 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, was renting for about $1,700 a month. Property prices have gone up a lot since then, and a similar house I own rents for $2,200. Lori decided she didn't like our arrangement anymore. She believed she would get more in child support than what renting the house would cost. I told her she was getting a good deal, but she was certain she was right, and I couldn't convince her otherwise. She started treating me like I was some sort of deadbeat or con artist. There were other things as well that showed how we had gone from being good co-parents to not getting along at all, and honestly, I don't know why. The courts finally opened and she hired a lawyer. Well, the order from the court came down and I do have to pay child support, $150 a week, otherwise known as around $650 a month. Not even a third what she had been getting in free rent. Lori was livid. It came out that her sister, who was living with her now, convinced her that since I had properties, I was obviously making a ton of money, and she should cash in on that. Well, that's not how it works. Yes, I get a good amount of money every month in rent, but after all that money goes for paying off the mortgages, property taxes, insurance, and upkeep, I'm not pulling any money out. I've lived entirely off of my salary as a mechanic, and my taxes prove that. I seriously considered telling Lori she owed me $2,200 a month in rent, but there is no way she could afford it, and I like having Lizzie close. The child support was being taken out of my check automatically, so I told Lori that she owed me $651 a month in rent. Okay, I couldn't resist being a tiny bit petty. Lori refuses to pay me. She is basically daring me to evict her. I honestly do not want her to move, but I refuse to be made into a chump, which is what is happening now. I sent the certified letter stating that she had 30 days to move out. Right now, that is an empty threat as the courts aren't processing evictions. But that should be changing shortly, for everything not virus-related. I'm telling her that for every month she doesn't pay, the rent I want is going up $100. So if she pays me this month, $651. If she waits until December, it goes up to $751, and so on. Lori does have a job, and based on her earnings, she can afford to rent someplace else. But it would not be nearly as nice as what she has now. So my daughter would not end up homeless, but it would be a downgrade. I don't see any other option other than letting Lori play me for a fool, which I'm not willing to do. But it feels so weird to think about kicking them out. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. This woman is blatantly using you and putting your daughter in between you as a shield, knowing your love for your daughter will protect her, Lori. Get her out and file a motion to have your daughter come live with you instead. Not the a-hole. Lori should have done her homework, and now she's out of luck. But have you done your homework? Laws vary by state, and if you don't have a formal agreement, it may be tough to get her out of there. It's worth talking to a lawyer. Let them handle the issue. Hands off is a good idea for you. Let the lawyer be the bad guy. I have. I did have an agreement where we agreed to free rent in lieu of child support, though either of us could opt out at any time. Since I'm paying child support now, that is voided. Now it's like she just moved in, so I have to go through the whole eviction process, which is what I am doing. Not the a-hole. I was totally prepared to take your ex's side, but she's putting money above her child's well-being, and that's terrible. I do think if you end up evicting her, you should try for full custody of your child. It doesn't sound like her mother is prioritizing her, and being forced to move and change schools can be traumatic for a young girl. Edit. This has come up multiple times, so I want to address it here. I'm not going to sue for full custody of Lizzie. Lori is very much trying to screw me, but that doesn't make her a bad mother to Lizzie. I'm not going to try to take Lizzie away from her mother unless it's in Lizzie's best interest, such as if Lori starts being aggressive or something like that. I'm not close with my brother Matt. Our parents heavily favored him growing up, which caused him to be a selfish adult now. Matt does not talk to us unless he needs something. His wife, Amber, is even worse. I've done my best to be civil with Amber, but she is a nasty person. The first thing she did when we met was insult my then 2-year-old daughter's hair. Amber behaves this way to every member of the family. The only reason the family speaks to Matt or Amber at all anymore is because we don't want to deprive the kids of a relationship with their cousins, as they all love each other. We keep things superficial because they know I leave with my daughter if Matt or Amber says something rude. My friend texted me asking, "Isn't this your sister-in-law?" and sent me a link to a beautiful child contest on Facebook. Amber's 4-year-old daughter, Mia, was the winner. Amber photoshopped the picture so much that it barely resembled her daughter. Amber had made Mia's brown eyes blue. She also made her chestnut hair blonde. Amber resculpted Mia's face. She looked like another kid. I looked on Amber's social media, and saw that she did this with all her photos of her kids, including her 8-month-old son, Jacob. Jacob is a cute baby. He has dark eyes, hair, and tan skin like Matt. Amber photoshopped Jacob's eyes a bluish green. She made his skin lighter and his hair auburn. Matt had the same edited photos posted on his social media, so he clearly had no problem with it. I was disgusted that they felt the need to Photoshop pictures of their toddler and baby. The grandparents insisted on taking everyone shopping at the mall for new clothes. After shopping, we got lunch together while the kids went to play on the mini rides and arcade games. I took a picture of the kids, and Matt and Amber asked me to send it to them. Amber was examining the picture and made comments that my daughter, Savannah's, eyebrows were too bushy, and there was a threading place near my house that I should take her to shape her eyebrows better. In the same sentence, she commented about Savannah's cheeks having too much baby fat, and I should consider children's workout class for her. I was furious with Amber, because who the hell does she think she is to insult a 10-year-old's appearance? I told her that Savannah is perfect the way she is, and who the hell is she to comment otherwise? Amber got defensive and said how she's just trying to offer helpful criticism, because Savannah will have trouble finding a boyfriend if she doesn't learn to maintain herself. I said Savannah will find someone who loves her and not her looks, instead of being so shallow and insecure that she photoshops her kids' pictures online. Amber and Matt looked extremely angry and embarrassed. I told Savannah it was time to go, and we left. People are saying I should have left immediately instead of causing drama and responding to Amber how I did. But nobody insults my child and gets away with it. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. People like this are disgusting. Amber shouldn't be a mother. I see years of therapy in her children's future. Not the a-hole. Photoshopping your children is literally Kardashian-level crazy. Not only is it a vapid, shallow thing to do, but imagine those poor children's self-esteem when they eventually find photos of themselves that mommy photoshopped. Amber was absolutely out of line making comments about your minor child's appearance. Based on what you've said here, Amber sounds like an adult who didn't emotionally mature past her teenage years. She clearly holds all of her value in how she and those around her look, and lacks so much self-esteem that she needs to knock children down a peg to make herself feel better. It's quite sad and pitiful, really. All-around disgusting behavior by Amber. Not the a-hole, and you know you aren't. Their photoshopping is an exact reflection of their insecurity and shallowness that you commented on, thinking they themselves don't look great. I honestly don't see it worth the effort keeping a relationship with them, just because your kids can have a relationship with their cousins. Those kids will have terrible mental health issues if they think beauty is all that matters, like your sister-in-law. They will become nasty like them too. I, female 29, bought my parents' home a year ago. I served 6 years in the Army from 18 to 24, got out and got a good job. We live in Maryland near D.C., so opportunities were good. Previously, my parents and I had a very good relationship. After I got out of the service, I moved in with them since rent in the D.C. area is ridiculous. Previously, I paid them $650 a month and did a fair share of all home upkeep and repairs. This was their suggestion. I was happy to pay more, but they told me to save up my money for my own place one day. For the first 2 years, everything was copacetic. Their house is a split level with a finished walkout basement that consists of a bedroom and bathroom and a living room and kitchen. Upstairs on the main floor is also a living room, kitchen, dining room, 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. The agreement was that my space was my space, and if they wanted to enter, they had to ask me first, but they said I could come into the main house whenever I want. I still asked first, though. About 2 years ago, my parents began treating me like some problem child. I was a good kid, academically inclined and quiet. I wasn't into the party and drinking scene as a teenager. I kept a job after school, kept my room clean, did as they asked. I never gave them reason to distrust me. But in the last 2 years, they have given me the 5th degree every time I come home late, have people over, spend any money. I do not spend excessively, and I've never once not paid my bills. They've also been letting themselves into my apartment without asking. Last year, my father lost his job, and I learned they weren't paying the mortgage. I learned this when the house went into foreclosure. My mother works, but her pay isn't enough for all the bills, and I learned that they were using my rent money to have a good time. Knowing they couldn't afford to buy or rent anything, I used my VA loan and bought the house at a good price, with the agreement the current arrangement would continue. Once it was settled, my parents never gave me a cent, and their behavior as detailed above got worse. I'm paying all the bills alone now, and my savings are being depleted. I'm tired of screaming and yelling and fighting and begging for help and being treated badly in return. So I started the eviction process on them. I've been asking them to help me pay bills for several months, and they've done nothing. I've got texts, emails, and handwritten notes proving I've been asking and that they haven't helped. Naturally, my parents are pissed and are turning our family against me. They guilt me by saying that if I kick them out, they'll have to live out of their car. I'm at the point where I just don't care anymore. I'm stressed out. Once they leave, I plan on selling the house and maybe buying a small house closer to work. Everyone who knows about this has vilified me. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your parents took a perfectly functioning, symbiotic relationship with you and chose to become parasites as well as treat you badly. The idea that you owe acceptance of aggression to anyone who shares your DNA and decides to dish it out has always seemed stupid to me. Not the a-hole. However, out of curiosity, did you and your parents ever put anything into writing with regards to everything will remain the same? I would tell them a date by which they must either start paying rent, their share of bills, or whatever you feel is fair, or move out, and that you don't want to have to evict them, but that because they are refusing to help you with expenses, you don't have a choice. Explain that otherwise you will have to sell the house outright, and they still won't have anywhere to live. Yes, we absolutely did. It was not an official contract. We did not have a lawyer help us prepare it. But the real estate agent with whom I worked with to purchase the house gave me a sort of template rental agreement that her office uses for their rental properties, and my parents and I came up with a rental agreement that we all three signed and had our neighbor, my godfather, read and witness. I have a copy and they have 2 copies. I'm not sure what good it'll do as far as actual legal standing goes. We never had a notary, nor any legal body prepare or witness it. Not the a-hole. These sort of family finance arrangements rarely work out. Your parents have jobs and are capable of paying bills, and it's time they start. They can pay you, or they can move out. This is all on them. Don't feel guilty, OP. You shouldn't have to foot the entire bill for you and your parents. As my husband likes to say, no good deed goes unpunished.